Welcome to a new topic in warehouse and inventory management. In the next couple of slide sets, we want to have a look at layout design decisions in a warehouse, and we are looking at a specific type of warehouse, and this is warehouses that only handle pallets. We call these warehouses unit load warehouses. And first we are going to have a look at the space, the impact of design decisions on space, on the use of space in the warehouse. The learning goals are: a successful student should be able to describe the relevance of a unit load warehouse. The successful student is able to discuss advantages and disadvantages of racking pallets versus stacking pallets. And the successful students can analyze wasted storage space due to honeycombing. So you should have an idea what this honeycombing is about and how to analyze, how to calculate wasted storage space due to this effect. We are going to discuss characteristics of unit load warehouses first, then we discuss again in a little bit more detail racking versus stacking. We discuss the concept of lane death and honeycombing. So what are the characteristics of a unit load warehouse? Well, you can say that a unit load warehouse is the most simplest, most easiest form of a warehouse, because we only handle one type of unit, and this is typically a pallet. That means pallets arrive in our warehouse, they are stored in the warehouse, and they leave the warehouse on a truck, for example. But we do not change what is stored on a pallet in a unit load warehouse. For example, if we store copy paper and on a pallet there are many boxes of copy paper, we will not touch individual boxes. We will always, at all times in this warehouse, we will only deal with the pallet. Okay? And in this way it is a simple warehouse. And there is some relationships that are of course interesting. We already discussed the different types of pallets that are out there and that they are mostly standardized, although there are different standards out there. And of course, interestingly, somehow the space and the labor requirements to deal with the pallets scale. Though the more pallets we have, the higher our space requirement and the higher our labor requirements. And this is almost linear, so we can say that if we double the number of pallets, we need also twice times the space, and the same for the labor. So we don't have an effect like if we double the number of pallets, we only need 50% more labor, because typically pallets are handled in one. There are only a small number of devices who can deal with more than one pallet, and everything is somehow designed to more or less deal with these single units. If this warehouse is so simple, why is it still relevant? Okay, first of all, it might be simple, but many businesses are doing exactly this, handling only pallets, or at least in certain parts of the supply chain only pallets are handled. In particular when we are dealing with third-party transshipment warehouses, 3PL warehouses, where a subcontractor is organizing the space of a warehouse for others, and typically these subcontractors charge the customer for each pallet they handle, meaning for each time they receive a pallet, each time they ship a pallet, they get some money, and of course they charge them for the time the pallet stays in the warehouse. Okay, this is the one point why these unit load warehouses are very relevant, because there are just many out there. And the other point is that even in a mixed load warehouse that does not only deal with 100% pure pallets, there's often a part of the warehouse that is doing exactly dealing with only one, with unit loads. Yeah? So these pallet handling operations might not impact the whole warehouse, but many of the considerations we are doing now, many of the studies we are doing now, can be applied in parts to almost all warehouses that are out there. And this is, of course, academically speaking, most important.